Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roast here with Jessica Bun Bun. This is our Death and Other Details, Season 1, Episode 5, reaction and review. We just got done examining our secret lair. We uncovered it in the walls. Is Viktor Sams here? What's going on, everybody?
And is Viktor Sams Sunil? I mean, there is so much smoke on him in this episode. And for me, all roads are just leading to him. And it may be that he is Viktor Sams, or it may be that he's part of the Viktor Sams organization. He's around the right age to have maybe also done this to Imogen's mom, which would be really dark. But I mean, the whole Viktor Sams organization seems to be pretty dark.
The whole analogy that I would sort of use for this show, I mean, it's ironic because we're on a cruise ship, but let's just pretend we're in a car and we're just sort of like driving and we're kind of moving in this one direction where we see at the end there's like a sign that says like Catherine is the killer, and then we're just like swerving, and then we're swerving back, and then it's just like we kind of just are being thrown to all these different paths, and like we're kind of moving now in this like Sunil is the killer path, but are we really going to end there? Is this going to jerk us around and then send us in some other direction again?
It might be. All of you who have been saying it in the comments that it's Sunil, I think you guys are right, and I think you guys have been right for a long time. I mean, maybe it'll be a W, maybe it'll be an L. It truly doesn't matter. I mean, it's all about the journey and sort of where we're going, and this show has been really good at, like you said, swerving is here, swerving is there. Oh, it's this person, it's that person. It's been a long time since there's been a show that's really done this well at giving us red herrings. I mean, Only Murders in the Building has done this really well as well. But outside of that, I mean, it's really good. There are really solid suspects. But Sunil, listen, the minute that Rufus went through that wall into like the Viktor Sams information center, I was just like, Sunil owns the boat. Like he designed the boat. Like he would have had to design this room to be in this boat. So unless he designed it for the actual Viktor Sams, then he's it. It's his boat. He owns it. He made it.
Listen, everyone. I'm getting very close to paying a visit to Flip Flop Island, which I have visited many times in the past covering these sort of mystery shows.
I am there with you on Flip Flop Island. Listen, I thought it was Anna at the beginning of this. I'm totally out on that.
I haven't put my feet on the shore yet, but it's like I'm on my own boat here, just sort of like navigating very close to it. I can see you just like waving a flag, welcoming me there.
Oh, why are you floating over to Flip Flop Island where it's Sunil?
Yeah, I see you there with the welcome flag. It's just like I'm not there yet, but I can see the horizon. But rest assured, we're gonna get more into all the smoke, all the theories, all the craziness that is going on in this episode. There's a lot, but you know what? Hit that subscribe button. We don't want you guys to miss any of our other coverage for Death and Other Details. It helps to support us. This is just such a fun show to talk about. Like,
it's
really
so fun.
Like, can we have like 5 more seasons of this? Like, I don't know how well it's doing in the ratings or anything like that. Hulu doesn't release it, but tell your friends. Yes, we're making demands of you almost 4 minutes into this video. Get people to watch this show.
Let's talk about Sunil.
Okay.
Is he Viktor Sams? And here's some of the, I guess, points that all kind of start to come together outside of the Viktor Sams, enterprise, technology enterprise being on the ship in a secret wall.
Yeah.
So the actor playing Sunil is about 40 years old, and that doesn't mean that Sunil is 40 years old, but let's just, for the sake of this tinfoil hat theory here, it's just a theory. All theories are welcome here, by the way. If you are new to the channel, we want to hear from you. So if the actor is almost 40, which he is, and if we've got the character who is almost at that age, then that would mean that at the time that Imogen's mom died, he would have been 20, 22, kind of around that age, right? So he's an adult. He would have been old enough to have been behind something like that. And maybe Viktor Sams, I mean, it's not clear Viktor Sams is just one person. It feels like after what Winnie said, Viktor Sams is an organization. And they kind of talked a little bit about that back in the past with Imogen's mom as well, that, this is an organization that deals in secrets and getting money for those secrets and keeping people on the hook, and that's how they make their money. Kind of like seemingly the Chuns. They also, deal in secrets. Lots of people do. Kingmaker as well.
Yeah.
But the age range makes sense that Sunil could have been involved in what happened to Imogen's mom as well. Now she's on the boat. So we had this whole day where he's like, listen, that document that doesn't have a date on it, and you really need to know what that date is. It'll just put it all together for you. I know somebody, and that person will probably be able to get that date for you. And she's like, oh, really? Great. Okay. Because they've already built some trust.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, but we have to stay overnight. Gets them separate rooms, very respectful, go for lunch, going and checking out art, spending the day together, sharing like deep, vulnerable things about him. Hey, listen, you know what? The truth is I'm broke. I don't have any money. This is where it is right now. Being very vulnerable with her, and she ate it all up, because what happened? They end up meeting up with this woman who's like, I need the document to be able to actually like see what the date is. She's like, can't you just take a picture of it? And she's like, no. And I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, she would
Yeah.
need the original to see if there's like an impression or whatever to actually be able. But because she trusts Sunil, she handed over the only copy of a document that could actually explain and expose everything. And the motive behind it would be, if Sunil is actually Viktor Sams, he needs that document, because to have that document, he can continue to get money from Lawrence or the Collier family with the document that now it's been taken away from Imogen. He has it for himself. He can continue on with everything. Because for me too, like, where has Lawrence been this whole time? He's been locked up in his room. We saw this whole meeting where he was like, yeah, I'm selling the company. He's so despondent that it feels like this has been going on a very long time with this whole Viktor Sams thing. And, obviously Lawrence knows about it. There has been this whole like money for secrets that's been going on. Has it been going on for all these years? And he's just like, I'm over it now. Like, I'm just selling, like, stop.
There's there's a lot of different things to get into here. I think let's get into the Sunil part of it first, because I do think that the two most biggest pieces of evidence here against him and your theory that you've lined out is, number one, what you said exactly about him having that document, and him, making sure that that this woman, forensics expert, is able to have this document. I know there was this question about, oh, can you just take a picture on your phone? Imogen, I hope you took a picture of this
Yes.
document on your phone, so that at the very least you have something, that you're not like giving all of your power over to this other person. The crazy thing about Sunil and Viktor Sams and all of this sort of stuff to me right now is like, there is a big part of me that is just sort of thinking along the lines of something that you said, which is just like, what if Viktor Sams is just like a moniker, like a 007, or like something that can kind of be passed along to different people over time? It doesn't have to be just one person. So, it could have been somebody many years ago versus somebody different now. The hard thing is that if Sunil's not Viktor Sams, which, we're only in episode 5 here, so like there's still a lot of story to go. If he is Viktor Sams, it can't be that simple, or at least I would think not. Like, there's still got to be.
Doesn't feel simple.
Okay, see, the thing is just that if it is Viktor Sams at this point, I need to unravel more of the why, and maybe the rest of the season would be about the why. But if he's not Viktor Sams, he's gonna have a very hard time convincing us and everybody aboard the ship, by the way, as to how he was able to have like a big secret compartment on his ship that, he designed the ship. Like, he went into all the money that he spent on the ship in this episode. It's
Yes.
very hard to believe that he would not know about this in any shape or form.
Yeah, because here's the other bit of evidence with it. We know that he was like, when he was getting ready to like get some of the advertising together, and he was using the VR mask, and it's been, really shown that he's, really into technology, and that, is it possible then, because we learned that everything with Layla, we'll get more into that, but that, she said Viktor Sams' name, like saying out the boogeyman's name, and now the boogeyman showed up, that while she's driving, all of a sudden the technology in the car has been taken over, and she's been, driven over an edge, that that's just like, well, we know that Sunil is capable of working with technology. So then there's all this technology on the boat.
Yeah.
It then connects to trying to kill off Layla, who, you know, was getting really close to everything. But then it leaves me into this point that's like, okay, well, Layla's on the boat. So if Victor Sams is Sunil or Victor Sams is on the boat, which I still believe he is,
Yeah.
why hasn't Layla been killed? And that's why tinfoil hat theory,
All right. All right.
what you were saying, which is like, oh, we're only in episode 5. If Sunil is the killer and it's brought up in the next episode, then like what's episode 7 and 8?
Yeah.
Okay, if that's the case, that it is Sunil and he maybe thinks that people are getting a little too close, Layla's going to get killed in the next episode. It's also possible the governor will. Like, she's seemingly getting sick. I think she's poisoned or something is
Yeah.
going on. She's like coughing and falling over and like not well and stuff like that. So I was kind of like, okay, is she going to die or something? But now that we know that Layla is so close to figuring out who Victor Sams is, she's, you know, telling her wife, like, we need to get off this boat. We need to get off this boat. Like, everything with Victor Sams is coming to, you know, a head here. We gotta go, sort of thing, that it feels like Layla's probably gonna get killed. And then
Yeah.
it'll be like, look over here. Like, don't look at me, Sunil. There's smoke going on over here. There's another death over here, kind of thing. And that then gets us through a couple more episodes to actually like have this sort of like smoke screen over here.
I've mentioned this a few times in the past. You know, I watched a lot of Diagnosis Murder growing up, and I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but there were episodes of Diagnosis Murder sometimes where we knew who the killer was at the very start of the episode. And there were other episodes where we kind of learned about it midway through. And, you know, murder mystery shows like this, they can adapt whatever format they want. Like, if the idea is that, you know, okay, Sunil is in fact, you know, the killer, or he is in fact Victor Sams, there is a chance that we're getting set up here that, okay, maybe characters will know come episode 6 or 7 that it's him, but at the same time, you still have to find a way to prove it. And then maybe the rest of the show is about, okay, how do you then find a way to prove this? And, you know, if he does take out Layla as you've hypothesized, like, he may be able to find a way to do that, that once again takes even less suspicion on him and makes him appear somehow innocent, depending on how he does it. Like, it has been weird to me too that Layla has sort of stuck around and is still alive. I mean, granted, I know she's taking a million different precautions to make sure that she doesn't get killed, but it is sort of like, if you know that she's up to something and you know that she's after you and she's wandering around the boat, like, you would probably be incentivized to be like, okay, we need to get this person out of the picture.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why when she was finally like, you know what, we gotta go, I was just like, yeah, you do.
Okay, let's get crazy, everybody. Okay, here's it's time for theories that don't necessarily make sense but are entertaining to me. All right, here we go. Number 1. What if Victor Sams is not a person, not an organization, but rather a place? Maybe the control room itself is Victor Sams. And this idea is sponsored in part by The Blacklist and the fact that there was a character on The Blacklist named Berlin, and it was a person as opposed to a place. So it's like, oh, you hear the word Berlin, you just think, oh, I'm heading off to Berlin. It's like, okay, I'm going to go see Victor Sams. Maybe you're going to see the place. Maybe you're going to see
I love
this sort of, listen, this
That's not out there. That's a great theory.
it depends on what I say next, because
Oh.
okay, it might be great right now, but it's sort
It
of,
is.
okay. But here's the problem with this idea, though, is that if Victor Sams is a place, and the idea is, okay, well then Victor Sams is killing people, how does a place kill somebody? Is it just like, this is a place where you're getting the resources that you're then using these resources to take somebody out? Is it just like a compiler of resources? Because the problem is, of course, that even if Victor Sams is a place, somebody still has to be running Victor Sams. And
Yes.
we can't just sit here and be like, okay, this singular thing is responsible for all of this. Now, Sunil may very well be the builder of Victor Sams, the place. And I think that feels pretty either inevitable or close to inevitable at this point, because I've tried for the past little while here to sort of rack my brain of like something else that could make a certain element of sense, but it's just like, if you are more than likely, unless it's somebody like, Eleanor or somebody who's a little bit younger in the Chun family, and I don't know why they would be there. It's just like, if you are somebody prominent, like Lawrence or Catherine or Celia or like some of these other people,
Mhm.
you're not going to be able to just like hang out on a boat all year. Like people are going to kind of recognize, oh, well, why isn't this person around? You know what? There, it's really hard to justify in my head unless it's like, you know, a red shirt crew member or something like that. Like who is going to be on this boat all the time and not be missed and not be detected?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to know.
See, this is where I kind of go into some other thinking here that
Mhm.
maybe the architect of this is Sunil. Sunil has sort of built all this up, and maybe he's just delusional. Maybe he thinks he's doing something here for a helpful reason.
Maybe, or maybe he's just lying. I mean,
Yeah,
he's told people that he's running this boat and he's put this money in this boat, he's
yeah.
created this boat, but maybe he's not being honest.
It's true. I mean, I this is why I still can't entirely quit the Catherine theory, even if it
Mhm.
seems wrong. It's just because we know that she is manipulative. We know that she does have money, does have resources, that she seems like she's sort of running the show at this point when it comes to her family. And I know Anna was in the business meeting and all of that, but she
Mhm.
still has this like capacity of being underestimated. And even if she's not on the boat all the time, like, it still feels like to me she could have some people in her orbit that she can get in order to do various things for her benefit. Like, it doesn't seem impossible to me that she could find a way to get Sunil to build like this command center that she can
Mhm.
access, that other people can access here
Mhm.
and there. Like, I can't really rule her out. The other person, Mr. Kingmaker. I'm on to you. I'm on
Yeah.
to you.
I mean, the Kingmaker is a great suspect. Like, we've seen just enough of him, but not so much of him that it's like Catherine, who's very
Yeah.
obviously doing a bunch of bad stuff, right? He is somebody who also deals in secrets. We've got Victor Sams deals in secrets, the Kingmaker deals in secrets, and the Chuns deals in secrets. It's
Yeah.
all very much there's multiple people that are have their hands in the secrets pool and make their business from secrets.
Yeah, and I feels like to me, the Kingmaker is somebody who could disappear in terms of like a physical presence for a long period of time. And as long as he's still like on the phone, talking to people, sending emails, he doesn't have to
Yep.
physically be anywhere. I also think it is interesting that, you know, I've seen some theories out there that being like the Kingmaker's son, aka that Derek, is the killer. And I don't necessarily think that, but I think
No.
his son might still be involved, or at least a clue, in the sense that the Kingmaker's really keeping him at arm's length with just about everything. Like, he's not letting him get too close to anything. He's making him stay in his room all the time. Maybe he's worried that something will be shot on video and like that's going to be some sort of problem down the line. It's like hard to really say, but you know, I don't think whoever is Victor Sams, or if Victor Sams is a place, whoever is responsible for the chaos, they don't necessarily have to be like all bad all the time. And if the Kingmaker's
Mhm.
trying to protect his son, it might be because he knows that there's this capacity for murder, that he's responsible for a lot of it, and he doesn't want to get him mixed up in any way.
Okay, let's dive deeper into Layla because we
Okay.
kind of scratched the surface a little bit. I really liked that meeting up with Danny and Layla in
Yeah.
the middle of the night where they kind of talked it out. And he was just like, they found out that they were kind of both working on this Victor Sams thing, which I liked that reveal because originally when Rufus found her hiding and mentioned Victor Sams, I was like, oh, maybe she was like Danny's assistant because you don't ever work without an assistant kind of thing. And Rufus was indisposed, so maybe they were working together. But I like this way better.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It feels like, okay, now the pieces are starting to be put together a little bit here. We understand why Layla is so incredibly paranoid, and we also
Yes.
kind of understand why she's so unhappy in a lot of ways. And, you know, it seems like her and Anna are heading towards Splitsville, and, you know, it seems like they should be. Anna's just like cheating on her. Like,
But even that aside, because Layla doesn't know that, she asked for a divorce
yeah,
without the cheating. So even the cheating aside, I mean, if you're with your partner and your partner just dismisses everything
yeah,
as you're, crazy or whatever, it's sort of like you're dealing with your trauma. It's okay. Let's call in the doctor sort of thing. And you just never believe your partner, then why would your partner end up staying with you? There's no trust. Because at that point for Layla, it feels like she's just like, what's the point? Like, I can't lean on her. I can't confide in her. It's just going to be like swept away as like, oh, she's being crazy. Like, I wasn't surprised at this point that Layla was like, I'm just done with this. Like, what is the point?
I have an idea for season 2. And that what if it is, Rufus likes to have one assistant. Can he have two? Can he have Imogen and can he have Layla, provided Layla doesn't get killed, which you have suggested, and I think there's a pretty good chance of that.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about it too. Like I was happy that we can kind of be like, okay, feel reasonably comfortable that we can take Layla sort of off the board here as somebody to be particularly concerned about. Like the thing is that they're still showing us enough of these random characters that we kind of have to sit back and be like, okay, why are we seeing this much of you? Like, why are we seeing this much of Trip, who's still trying to get this stupid coin operation
Yeah.
going? And I still don't think he's the killer. I still don't think he's involved. He seems like there's not all that much up here all the time.
No, and he'll still on the boat being like, yeah, I don't want to ruin anybody's vacation. I've got the killer. They're down in the prison. So let's just keep sailing. It's going to dock in 3 days. They can get them then, sort of thing. And like, I was like, okay, this kind of doesn't make any sense. You came in on a boat. You can't put Winnie on a boat
Yeah.
and drive away. Like, why are you still here? Nobody needs to actually come to the boat. You're at the boat.
Yeah.
So it can still dock in 3 days. It's still going to take 3 days to get there. You can't just like teleport the boat anyways. So why are you still here? And it's like, well, is the reason she's still here to like hook up with Llewellyn? I'm like, why are these stories still happening? This is something that you mentioned, I think, in the last video. The idea that the show isn't exactly sure where it wants to be.
Yeah.
Is it more of like a fun whodunit in more of like an Agatha Christie kind of way where there's less comedy, more drama? Or are they trying to be more like also kind of like a rom-com where there's a little bit of comedy, there's a little bit of romance? We've had 2 Imogen love stories. It's episode 5, like
Yeah.
what is the show trying to be? It needs to find its footing.
Yeah, because everything with Llewellyn, who I'm pretty sure I will never be able to pronounce, like the moment that this show is over, I still cannot spell his name. But like whatever's going on with him and Hilda, it basically feels a little bit like a different show than everything else that's going on at this
It's
point.
odd.
Like if I'm gonna go like crazy super tinfoil here, I think
Mhm,
it's
mhm,
because
mhm, mhm.
Llewellyn's still hiding something. I don't necessarily think he is, Victor Sams, but I said this in the last video that he might be using all of this as just sort of a cover so that people don't take him that seriously. But that it's a little bit of a stretch at this point. It's just like they got to find a way to justify something like that if they're going to continuously circle back to it. Because yeah, it is a little bit over the top for the rest of this show, even though the rest of the show is still pretty fun in tone. Like I
Yeah.
like that it's not that serious. I think it's just it's a nice little mystery romp where people are getting killed still.
This show is so fun. Like, I hope more and more and more people discover this show. It's really fun.
Yeah, and with that in mind, of course, we all want your theories. We want to know who you think is Victor Sams. Is it a place? Like what's really going on?
Such a good theory, Matt. I really
Thank
like
you.
that.
Well, I literally thought about it in this video. What's
Yeah,
it?
I really like that.
Well, thank you. Okay, well, maybe I will still visit Flip Flop Island in the near future.
That's okay. Nobody needs to be over on Flip Flop Island with me, that we take a lot of L's.
Well, this entire channel could be L Island sometimes with all the L's we end up taking. But you know what? Hit that subscribe button for more Death and Other Details coverage. You can click that box right there if you want to watch our most recent reaction and review. Also, join our Patreon for exclusive content. Thank you to our patrons for
Thank
your
you.
support, and we will see you here next time.